This is where we hold them. This is where we fight.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.
Rob, what's good, homie?
E-A-G-L-E. What does this song go? Fly, Eagles, fly. Is that how? What is that? The Eagles song, alma mater?
Folks, just take note that my partner here, my podcast co-host, take note of what he just showed us. Okay? She's showing you his true colors here, and his true colors are that of being a hater. Okay? So, just take note. I mean, this is what haters do. I'm not even going to respond to it,
Haters gonna hate, man. Haters gonna hate.
I know everybody expects me to come on here and be downtrodden and heartbroken. I'm not one of those people that gets that upset over professional sports. I know a lot of people are expecting me to come on here and say, "Oh, that penalty! Oh, it was bullshit! Oh my God! Oh, lost us the game." No, I don't agree with that. I think we made many more mistakes in the game than that penalty at the end, which, I mean, I'm not saying it should have been called. It probably shouldn't have been called, but it did. I'm not going to sit here and act like it cost us the game. So there was a point in the game where Quez Watkins, a receiver for the Eagles, had a chance to make a decent range catch by the goal line, okay, and it hit him in the hands and he dropped it. If Quez Watkins makes that catch, okay, which would probably lead to the Eagles scoring there, okay, which would probably mean the Eagles would have won the game. All right. If Quez Watkins makes that catch, the Eagles win the game, and Travis Kelce catches one more ball, I turn $10 into $4,500. That hurt more than the loss, son. Honestly.
Oh yeah.
That hurt more than the loss.
I was one of those games where all my bets missed by something really small. I had Boston Scott scoring first touchdown. That was plus 2,800, and he was close. He got the ball twice in the first possession in the red zone, and I'm like, oh man, just give me that one time. But
and let me say, I started my day yesterday with a soccer game for my daughter. Then, because I was already kind of close to Philly where the soccer game was, I decided I was going to come down and play cards at Parks for a few hours. And Rob, let me tell you something. I am usually not very lucky when it comes to gambling and playing cards. But yesterday was like the luck gods were raining down on me. I'm not even kidding. I sit down, new table, new game, first hand, get dealt 7-7. The high hand bonus just started at 1 o'clock. Okay, every half hour they're giving $250 to the high hand in the room. That's just cool. Started. I just sit down. First hand 7-7. Dude raises to 15. Couple people call. I call. Flop comes 7-7.
That's unbelievable. First hand.
Dude's betting into me. I take him for his whole stack the first hand. Okay, I stack him the first hand. I also win the high hand.
Yeah.
I also win the high hand promotion for that half hour. Okay. I continued to get smacked in the face with the deck the entire time. The only two bad things that happened to me were I had another high hand that I was in the lead for with 14 minutes left. And if you win a second one, it's double. Okay. I'm in the lead with 14 minutes left. Last 30 seconds, I get sniped out by 4 threes. Okay. All right. I know. But I was like, okay.
It's brutal.
Second bad thing that happened to me was I called a guy for maybe a $200 all in, and I didn't hit a flush. I had a flush draw after the flop. I had like a queen high flush draw. He pushed in. I felt like he was protected. I called him, and I didn't hit. Those were the only two negative things to happen to me in the poker all day. I was up like 800 when I left for the day. So before the Super Bowl even started, it was already a great day for me. Already a good gambling day for me. So, yeah, I'm not going to complain too much. People are asking in the chat, how is the spread? How do you think the spread was, son? It was the Super Bowl and the Eagles were in it. Even if the Eagles weren't in it, the spread would be impressive. But the spread included Chickies and Pete's, numerous items from Chickies and Pete's, a very popular sports bar in Philly, and also some Vince's Pizza. Best pizza place in Philly, in my opinion. A lot of people would disagree with me on that, but it's pizza. And then some Philly soft pretzels. Philly soft pretzels, if you've never had, really good. And yeah, that's a little dessert, little cupcakes, but that's about it.
Got it. All right, let's talk bowling, because you did some bowling.
I did some horrendous bowling, is what I did.
Bowling. Okay.
Except for one game. But
I want to get into something, because you brought up a really interesting point on Twitter about your tournament. And if you want to get into details about your tournament, you didn't bowl good. You missed a lot of spares. Bottom line, right? You missed a lot of spares, right?
Well, they were really tough.
Get into it.
They were really tough. I got dopes on Twitter. I put a picture out of the pattern. I got dopes on Twitter telling me, "Oh, they look easy." I said to the person, I might even give it worst of the week. I even said to the person, do you understand what the ratios? Oh, yeah, I can lead away.
They don't understand lane patterns.
I can read a lane graph. That's what the guy says back to me on Twitter. I'm like, okay. So they were hard, man. They were Greg Tack hard. And, like, I'm not sharp. And it was just ugly, Like, it's crazy, though. I had so many thoughts in my head after I was done bowling. My mind was going 100 miles an hour when I was done. So whatever the pattern was, it was real tight out. Okay, but then like anything right of first arrow was probably not going to hook.
Well, like pick 3 off the right or wash out or 2-8-10.
Yeah, no, like pick 3.
Okay.
Yeah, like if you hit. Yeah, if you hit 4-3-2, that was definitely going to be pick 3. Okay,
out of bounds.
Then 5, 6, 7, 8 was playable.
They're always playable. 5, 6, 7, 8
playable. But what'd you have to be using?
Oh, urethane.
Had to be using urethane. Okay.
God.
Then the track was kind of playable too. And again, you could be using urethane. In the track, guys were starting, let's say, 18 to 14 in the track with urethane. And it looked really good. Okay. Man. The middle of the lane, there were like 33 mils of oil in the lane. Or it might have been more than that. There was a ridiculous amount of milliliters of oil in the lane.
The 500 grit was out.
Like crazy. Like, it was crazy how much the middles hooked for how much oil was on the lane. Like, I thought I was going to be using a reality with 1,000 on it. Okay? I started out with a freaking pearl web.
Ooh, on the fresh? Using a pearl?
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, because they were hooking so bad in the middle. Like, I decided not to use urethane. Mistake. I decided to play in and get my feet like in like 22, 23 and kind of, just feed it to that spot where I knew it was gonna hook. Right.
So I want to get to my original point here, because I feel like this is important. When you don't have a good look, and I feel like this is a good for me when I'm playing a tough pattern, when I know I don't have a good look in practice and I know the scores are going to be low, you really go into like playing defense. And really your 2 main objectives, in my opinion, are 1, leave makeable spares, and 2, make your makeable spares, right? Makeable spares on a tough pattern, like a US Open type pattern, the hardest kind of spares to shoot, and everybody knows this, are the 3-6-9 10s, the baby splits, the bucket,
Buckets.
all the jumbo pin, combinations that you could shoot.
That's not really what we're talking about.
No. So
No, we're talking about single
single
pins,
pin spares, right?
4 7s, 6 10s,
Right.
3 6 10s, 2
So-
8s.
My point I wanted to bring up is an interesting tweet that you had, and I actually called you yesterday, and I was hoping you'd pick up even on Super Bowl Sunday, because I wanted to talk to you about your tweet, because I found it very interesting that you practiced spares for an hour last week, right? And you
Yes.
felt good. And then you said something interesting. You said, I talk myself out of spares when I shoot it.
Yep. Literally, when I say that,
Yeah,
I mean,
know
I
you're saying.
literally am getting
Yes.
up on the approach
Yeah,
saying, oh, shit, I'm
Yeah.
going to miss this.
right.
I'm
So
going to miss this.
interesting. And I'm going to bring this up right now because I think this is interesting to talk to people about, because I bet a lot more people do this than you think.
Oh, yeah.
Because be paying attention. And I think the one thing is that was important in this whole thing is you identified that's what you were doing. So now you could work on how to fix it. But you'd be surprised when you bowl an 8-game tournament, whatever. It could be league. What if people start paying attention to their actual self-talk on what their brain is telling them, prior shots, getting up to make a shot, while you're actually throwing the ball, right? What your mind and your voice is telling your body is a very important aspect of your bowling game, right? And I actually, when I was bowling competitively years ago, I went to see a golf psychologist that I found in the area. And and golf mentality relates to a lot of bowling in the fact that you have time in between shots. For instance, like you talk about the Super Bowl, what Mahomes does on the fly is pure athleticism, right? Like when he's out of the pocket and the routes break down and he could get out of the pocket and make things happen. There's no thought that goes into what he does. It's pure physical, natural ability, in my opinion, right? Now, a free throw for a basketball player is a ton mental because they have a lot of time to think about it. Now, relate to bowling, right? Bowling is one of the only sports that you have minutes to think about your next shot. What goes into what your mental game and what you tell your body is really important. So if you can learn how to translate that voice on what you're telling yourself on how to miss, on you're going to miss, to actually turn that into I need to throw this with confidence. I need to make, or I have to make a good shot here, or something where one of the biggest lessons I ever learned from the golf psychologist was to actually visualize yourself making the shot before you actually do it. So you actually take a deep breath, you close your eyes, and you actually picture yourself throwing an amazing shot. And then when you're bowling, you actually try to recreate that mental image of yourself throwing the ball before you get up and throw the shot. So you know how the golf players, they take practice swings before they get up? It's the same kind of mentality where you're not going to take practice swings before you bowl, but you can mentally actually pure a shot in your head. And then right when you get up to throw it, you're trying to recreate that shot you just did in your head.
Yeah, no, totally understand all that. It's good advice for people out there. I'm versed in all that kind of mental game stuff. But I mean, I coached for a long time. I used to coach the kids that I coached, the same things that you're saying right now. So clearly, I know them. But Nico asked, "Is it all mental? Am I saying this is all mental?" No, I'm not. I think there's also a physical aspect of what's going on with my poor spare shooting or my poor execution in general. And that's that a lot of times I cannot hit what I'm looking at. Either the ball is I'm convinced that your release point in bowling has to be later these days. I'm convinced of that. I feel like when in the era that we were learning in, to get the ball down on the lane early was a positive. Okay, and you weren't going to suffer too much negative by getting the ball down early on the lane. But now I feel like if you get the ball down early on the lane, like you're almost dead. I to me, like I don't. My release point is bad. I think that's what I'm saying. Like
So it's a
I'm
timing
convinced.
issue.
Well, it's either timing or the fact that I just don't hold on to the ball long enough to get it out in front of me and hit it on the upswing. If that makes sense. Right? See, Charlie Tapp in the chat is saying it has to be past the toe. See, like I mean, I know yes, maybe like I feel like maybe even a little bit further, but that's not the way that I was really taught to bowl, right?
I
Like
want to bring this up.
I was taught to bowl more of like rolling it into the lane, and I'll be honest, like it just doesn't seem to work anymore. So
I want to bring this up because
I've been working on getting the ball out on the lane more, right? Trying to delay my release and get the ball out on the lane more. And when I do it, it's very effective. Like I feel like I'm right about what I'm seeing because when I do it, it changes the way my ball rolls. And it makes it more predictable and easy to see what the ball is going to do. I also feel like it hooks more than when I get it down early. And yeah, what happens on a lot of my spares is I don't concentrate on getting the ball out in front of me. And it kind of drops behind me, I feel like. And yeah, it just sails off one way or the other.
Is like for spares, you should have a lot more room for error on spares, single pin spares, than you do actually like bowling on a tough shot. You know, you could miss 2 boards on a sport pattern on a spare shot and make it. That's why you throw a plastic ball, essentially, right? That's why you never really hook. You should never ever hook spares on a sport pattern. I'm talking single pin spares, right? Even 5 pins and 4 pins and 9 pins and 8 pins. You should never hook it.
It's crazy because right now I'm better at hooking it.
Well, that's because you're not confident with your spare ball. But in my opinion, I don't know if you ever watch the guys on tour, do you ever see them hook single pin spares at all?
Some of them do.
Maybe with a plastic ball?
No, with urethane or there's guys that hook it spares. I feel.
I guess I was on always the school of like, and I'm probably wrong there, but I see majority of the players shooting straight, right?
Vast majority, for sure.
Vast majority, right, are throwing straight at their plastic, or they're killing their wrist, right, and throwing straight. I want to bring a comment by my brother. If anybody doesn't know about my older brother here, Jeff, he used to coach Dick Ricker for years. So whenever you can get a tidbit from Dick Ricker, who is one of the greatest players of all time, he writes in the chat. Ricker told me the story once about how he missed some 10 pins in a tour stop. So on the way to the next tour stop, when he was in the passenger seat, he practiced making them for an hour by sitting with his eyes closed and picturing himself making them over and over and over again. Yeah, I mean, look, like people don't talk about the mental game enough, but it really what separates the men from the boys when you bowl at a high level, honestly.
Oh, it's ridiculous. So I go to practice spares for an hour on Thursday. I felt confident. I come out the first game, and despite playing them wrong, I start out with a great double. I mean, I made 2 of my best shots of the day were frame 1 and frame 2. I aced the shit out of it. Frame 1, it was bang, 10 back. Frame 2, got it a little bit right, but I hit it good, and it was slow, and it came back. I kind of tripped the 7-pin out. Then I go up, and I get it a little in, frame 3, and I leave a 9-pin. Like, not a stone 9, like 4-pin fall, and it was almost a 4-9, 4-pin fall, and almost it's a 9. I get up, I flag the 9-pin. I'm like, come on. Are you kidding me?
Hooking it or you shoot straight?
Straight at it. First spare, just practice spares for an hour the day before. Urethane.
Okay.
Urethane. Get up in the 4th frame.
Was there nerves? Honestly, were you nervous?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't nervous because I'm not bowling for anything, but it was that mental thing of like, you're gonna miss this shit. Like it doesn't matter if you practice.
I mean,
you're gonna
there's
miss
a problem. I mean, you gotta change your mindset.
But in my head, I said, nah, buckle down, get your feet in the right spot, look at what you're hitting and hit it. And yeah, the ball just dropped off my hand, sailed off to the right, missed it to the right. Then I get up in the 4th frame, 10-pin, another good shot, 10 pin, flat 10. Ball kind of rolled out on me a little bit. Flat 10. I missed that. And I missed this by like, it's falling off the edge as it misses it. Okay.
This little bit.
I know it's a miss.
It's
a miss, right?
By this. Like, yeah.
Then I throw a split, of course.
Of course. Well,
of course, because that's the way it happens. I go like 2-8-10 or something.
But
then I had a pretty okay run for a little bit. Not striking, just making spares. I get up in the 10th frame, and I miss a 4-pin. I leave a 4-pin. I miss a 4-pin.
Dude, you gave up
33 pins.
At least 30.
Yeah, at least 33. Probably more like 40. Like 40 pins in easy spares in game 1.
Crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing that I do often that's dumb and I need to reevaluate. I'll look at just a couple guys around me who are whacking them, and I'll convince myself, scores are going to be through the roof. Scores are going to be, I'm out of it already. Scores are going to be through the roof. I'm minus 40-something now. I had a lefty on my pair shoot 240. I had a guy to my left who ended up winning the tournament. He bowled 2 good games and won the tour. I bowled next to this guy all day. Dude, I would have had this guy pegged for a patch pirate, honestly. If I bowled league with him, I would say, oh God, I'll mop this guy on something tough. But for 2 games, to his credit, he matched up better than anybody in the building and could not miss. Game 1, he's to my left. He's using a purple hammer, right up 6-7. He goes front 8, 276. Okay. So I got 276 to my left. I got 240 something on my pair. I got Paluzik's pair, 2 pairs down. They're like 220, 220, 2-teen. And I'm like, scores are going to be ridiculous. Like, these are way easier than what I'm making them, right? Turns out I was wrong about that. Turns out I was completely wrong about that.
I found out your problem. Why are you like looking at scores 3 pairs away from you?
Because I'm watching what other people are doing.
Yeah, but you could watch.
I'm watching how they're trying to play the lane.
I understand that. You want to see it.
That's what I walk all around game 1. I walk the concourse game 1. And I like to watch as many good, knowledgeable bowlers as I can throw the ball at least once down the lane just to see what they're doing and how it looks. What ball are they using? What are they doing? Are they having success with it? And that's why I look at the score. Like, are they having success with it?
Yeah. I think you do have to do a little bit of that when you bowl tournament. But I also think you need to trust your own decision-making and your own ability to make your own adjustments based on your own game too.
PJ with the advice, appreciate that. But here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. That's actually what I went to. When I was struggling with spares, what you're saying, PJ, is what I went to for all right-hand side spares. He's saying pick one spot to stand for spares left of the head pin and adjust your eyes to the pins. For spares right of the head pin, stand to where you shoot your 10 pin and adjust your eyes accordingly. Spare ball and everything except double wood. Yeah, and that's what I do. That's what I went to when I was really struggling with making spares. I said, all right, I'm going to stand where I stand for my 10 pin for all left side spares. I don't care if it's a 9 pin, a 3 pin, a 6 pin, a 3, 6, 10, a 6, and I'm going to adjust my eyes at what I'm looking at and change my target based on the spare that I'm shooting and hit that target. Give myself 2, 3, 4 boards to hit and say, all right, hit this and you're going to make it depending on the spare. Okay, so yeah, that's what I went to. But yeah, I even struggle with that because again, like my either my swing or my release point is not real good or real consistent, and the ball's all over the place. So nonetheless, I go like 150. Then I switch to urethane. They became a lot easier. I hit the pocket almost every shot. I made I think I made every spare that game. I was clean that game except for a split. I shoot 190 game 2. And then the urethane went away, and it was like, oh, my God, forget it. I'm lost again. Could not get a ball to hook down the lane. Could not figure out how to play them. Could not get my feet in the right spot. Could not execute. That went on for 3 games, basically, where I went like 150, 150, 130 or something like that. 177 mixed in there somewhere, 140, 150. Then I finally got my feet in the right spot, got a Zen in my hand that was real aggressive down the lane.
They broke down by that time.
Okay, they did. They broke down. And then the last game,
no pressure,
probably an easier pair too. No, but listen, the game that I shot 230 something the last game, I finished second in the high game. If I carry an 8-pin late in the game, I win the high game. And the guy who won the event and a bunch of guys around me who were bowling to cash or bowling to win, they were all struggling their ass off. So I'm like, well, clearly they're not that easy because otherwise everybody would be whacking them, right? So I felt like I threw the ball really good that last game. And what did I concentrate on? Lofting the ball out in front of me. Get it out in front of you as much as you can. Honestly, here it even seems like if I loft it with less rev rate, the ball hooks more than if I get it into the lane and really tear ass on it and get it.
See, but you know what the thing is funny? Like you talk about how you're making a physical change and it helped you. But in my opinion, your physical game and what you're saying, it's not your issue.
Okay.
It's your mental game, bro. Like you have a mental game problem. You do. You're looking at the scores around you. You know,
I disagree. I disagree. It is mental to a certain extent, but it's also physical.
But as soon as the last game happened, you relaxed. There was no, and then you were able to probably, make a move, switch balls, and then you found something the pressure was off. It was relaxed. You weren't putting all kinds of pressure on yourself. Yo, I've been there. I'm just trying to tell you, like, from what you're telling me and like how you're talking yourself out of shots and you're like, you're looking around you. You're trying to like, I just think like you got to learn, you got to figure out how to buckle down mentally, stop worrying about what everyone's around you doing, focus on your own game. Your adjustments, your moves, your ball reactions, what to do. Yeah. You look at what people are doing, like how the shot's breaking down, you look at your pair. But you really only stay around maybe the 2 or 3 lanes in front of you, to the right of you, to the left of you. But when you start going pairs around all the way down in this and, you start, well, should I do this? Should I do that? Well, ball, like, it's just way too much. You got to like simplify it. In my opinion.
But I'll be honest, that's not what I see. What I see when I walk around is, oh no, all the guys that are in the know are all doing the same thing.
Maybe, but
I'm not. And I'm not.
Yeah. Well, hey, it's all part of the learning experience.
Yeah. So I bowled like a hack. I'll say I put my scores out on Twitter. I don't care. Like, listen, say what you want to me. Make fun of me if you want. But I'll say this.
I'll make fun of you.
There's guys out bowling on the PBA tour who travel halfway around the country or halfway around the world for that matter and bowl the same scores I do.
No, it's not to be ashamed of. I mean, look, like.
Well, it is. I mean, I think for me, I don't feel that way, but I think that there's a lot of haters out there. We started the show with that theme of haters. Maybe we'll keep that throughout the show. But there's a lot of haters out there that I think, when I put my scores out or something like that, they're going to say, oh, see, this guy stinks. Or, oh, what does he know about bowling if he's bowling these scores? And really, that shows their own ignorance. It does.
Well, the truth of the matter is everybody is looking to pile on the internet, on social media, right? Nobody's used to seeing someone post really bad scores on the internet. Everybody posts the best scores ever, their honor scores and whatever they do, right? Which is fine. People have the right to do that, right? But when they see a scorecard like you post, people are quick to like jump on it, especially, somebody who is in the bowling, podcast spotlight, right? Easy to jump on and get on you, but
I'm an easy target.
100%. And they know they can get to you too, if they really want to pile it on.
Not for that, really, though. Honestly, I really don't care. In fact, I was going to bring PJ's comment up here. He says, good thing you've got a good job. It's funny. I went to the training center Thursday to practice the spares, and Parker was there. And he came down while I was bowling and asked me a couple questions about what I was working on or why I was working on the things that I was working on. It gave me a little advice, which I greatly appreciated. And he was there Saturday because his son was bowling in the event. Well, his son bowled well. He cashed in the event. So as he's leaving, I'm outside, and he walks by, and he's like, "Oh, how's it going?" And I said, "Well, like let's just say that I'm glad that I don't bowl for a living, and I'm only here to enjoy myself." And honestly, that's the truth. Like, I don't want any of you to think that I get like so fried or frustrated over my bowling. Like, I enjoy it whether I bowl good or I bowl bad. I enjoy it a lot more when I bowl good. But at the end of the day, even when I bowl bad, I still enjoy it. I still went out to eat with my boy Frank. Shout to Frank, who came to the event as well. We still went and got some great wings at the Jug Handle on 73 in South Jersey, best wings in the Philly, Jersey area. But yeah, I like to bowl good. I don't like who likes to bowl bad. No one likes to bowl bad. It's like, but I'm not going to let it ruin my weekend or fry me out to the point where it's a problem. Like, it is what it is. I'm a weekend warrior who's not sharp, kind of hacky, and yeah, I got to put some work in. I got to put some time in. I'm looking forward. I got a couple breaks coming up from work. And I think I might reach out to some people to take a look at my game. And just watch me throw some shots and just give me their analysis of what they think I do well or don't do so well. Because I'd just like to get some fresh eyes on my game to say, all right, well, here's what I think. People who have maybe a different philosophy of the way that
you should
the way that I throw it. But league review, that was my tournament. League review, I'll keep short. I didn't bowl all that great in league either. I couldn't repeat a goddamn shot to save my life. I was 560 maybe. They put out the wrong pattern. We were supposed to bowl on the long. We bowled on the short. We had 21 guys, which was great. And I'm going to speak generally here, okay? And I don't want anyone to think that I'm speaking about them. But it does apply to some of the people that show up to this sport thing I'm doing and bowl. So if you're listening to this and this does apply to you, don't take it the wrong way. It's just an observation, okay? My favorite thing about running this sport pot game thing, okay, is that when a really good house bowler shows up, okay. Last week we had a guy come in who was like 230, okay, 230 house. So I tell him, all right, we're gonna bring you in 203 on the sport conversion chart. Rob, what do you think their eyes look like when I say that? When I say 203, and here's how many pins you're getting handicapped.
Oh, they think they're going to take everybody's money. Yeah, big smile on their face.
I mean, they look like,
yeah,
oh my God, I'm going to win everything.
100%.
And then they go out
500.
and they don't even sniff a pot.
Yeah.
While guys are shooting 260, 270, scratch.
Yep.
Scratch. We got guys putting up major numbers in this pot game thing. So yeah, it's a really eye-opening experience. You know what? But to their credit, a lot of them, they show up and then you want to know what they do after they're done?
They ask questions.
No, they go practice.
Yeah, they ask
questions. They
questions.
get a pair and they practice. And then they show up the next week and they come back at it. And I respect the shit out of that. Do we need more of that in the bowling community? But yes, I'm not going to lie. It is a very funny occurrence to me.
You see people get humbled
when this happens because they just light up like, oh, you're going to give me how many pins?
Yeah, shit, we'll bring you 190. Good luck.
Yeah, no doubt. So that's my league report for this week. We start a new 9-week session this week on Tuesday. I don't know if I'm going because it's Valentine's Day, but we start a new 9-week session, and I am raffling off a bowling ball at the end of this 9-week session to anybody that attends 6 weeks or more. So if you want to come out, if you're from the local area, you want to join us, feel free to come out and join us. So Rob, 298 horse, 800. Yo, give it up for our guy. I'm only kidding. Don't clap too hard. It's house shit. Okay, 800. Nice bowling though. Nice scoring. I'll say.
I think the learning experience that I had from bowling 298, 804 on a league shot, I bowled 3/4 of the year that I've had 2 700 series, is that I made simple adjustment and it changed my whole ball reaction in that building. Now, don't get me wrong. Tomorrow I might be back to my 650 look. But for the people wanting to know what I did, I felt like my angles were too open on the house. So I couldn't carry. I was just too far left to right. I moved my feet 7 to 8 boards right, and I moved my eyes 3 boards left. So essentially, I changed my angle going through the front of part of the lane. And yes, Jeff did give me advice. He did. I also got some advice from some other people that were bowling league there, who also said kind of the same thing. My angles were too far open. And keep in mind, this isn't, and I've said this numerous times on the show. This was the, a 40-team league, 5 people on a team, and that was the 4th or 5th 800 in the league. So it's not like common. It's still, there's still high scores, here and there, but it felt good just to be able to pop one. So that's my league review. First honor score. I don't consider 290 an honor score. 800 though is cool. Same ball, same everything. Didn't change, just changed my eyes, changed my entry angle through the front power lane. We'll see what I get tomorrow. Could be 650 again. And I think I missed 5 shots or 4 shots in the 3 games, and they were all 10 pins. So
could have been 900.
No, I'm not going to be that guy. that
I will be.
Who bowls that one guy who bowls. He goes stone 10 sheet for 290, and it was like, oh, I missed 300 by 1 shot. No, you didn't.
Right.
No, you did. Once you miss the first shot, the pressure's off the 300 the rest of the game, right? So yeah. Anyway, all right, Mike. There was a PBA tournament out there this week. Bowl TV, Springfield.
Title awarded on Saturday, son.
Springfield, Missouri.
25 G's. I know it ain't a major. I know it ain't 100 G's, but still matters to me.
We are going to, what up, Rob? Oh, shit. We have big celebrities in our chat room tonight. Rad Rob, the raddest. We did have a tournament, and we watched a lot of it. I know you watched a lot of it. I was popping in and out watching it.
I watched that. I watched that shit like my life depends on it, son.
It was painful for me to watch.
I clear my schedule if I can to watch that. Now Saturday, unfortunately, I was bowling, so I didn't get to watch the match play. But yeah, I watched almost every other block.
Yeah, and Mike, I know you reached out to me during the tournament. You go, oh hey, how you feeling with all your thing getting thrown? And I felt like I wanted to send you the gif of Mr. T in Rocky 3, where he says pain, because that's what I felt like, pain watching the urethane. And
if you're bowling on something tough, does the urethane have to be the first ball out of the bag always?
Always, especially
right? Is that what it is? I mean, I should just any tournament I go to, anything I bowl on, any pattern doesn't matter. See what the urethane does out of the bag.
No, it depends what length the pattern is, in my opinion. If it's anything 39 feet or shorter, you're probably going to start with a urethane.
Yo, I see it used on 40, 41, 42, 43.
I agree, but I'm just saying, as a guy going and bowling on a 42-foot, that's probably not going to be my first ball out of my bag. You know what I mean? But if it's a 37 or 36 or 33, oh, you bet your ass I'm going to have 2 urethanes out of the bag.
Nico in the chat asking if we were surprised. No, we weren't surprised at all. We expected urethane to be used the entire week. I mean, they're bowling on the shortest pattern on tour, right? So, that's what you're going to see. It's just funny to me that you sometimes see events that are everybody's using urethane, or the vast majority are using urethane. You then see events where a decent number are using urethane. You see events where a smaller number are using urethane, but I don't feel like we've gotten to a point yet where we've had an event in a long time where no one's using urethane, and no one's successful with it, and it's just out of play. But you have it on the other side where you have events where everybody's using it, and it's really the only thing you can use and have real success with. So, all right, Rob, let's run the ladder. Let's run the ladder here, okay? The step ladder included Kevin Williams up top, right?
hometown,
his home
home
house.
bowling alley.
Okay, his home house. And I'll ask this now. Does him kind of dominating in this building say something about, and also we had Tom Doherty, very same situation last year, right? Do those two situations kind of point to the idea that, you grow up bowling somewhere, you're familiar with a place, you know how you have to roll your ball there to strike and get it to go through the pins, right? Is that a big factor? I mean, do we underestimate how big of a factor that is?
Well, it's not that they know how to roll it at their home center. The home center essentially developed their ball roll. You know what I mean? So I kind of feel like the bowling centers where you bowl dictate on how you end up throwing the ball physically. So essentially, you don't have to change anything. You're in your A game, your comfort zone, because that ball roll that you have is a lot of it is tailored from the bowling center you grew up in.
Yeah, yep. No, that's what I'm saying, and I think that if you can look at that in a way too of like, well, there's going to be certain guys who go into certain centers and their role matches up very well. They're probably going to have a lot of success in that place, and maybe it's more so due to that than it is to other factors that we assign it to. I don't know. I'm asking. I'm not saying. I'm putting a theory out there, if you will.
I will not take credit away from a Tom Doherty or a Kevin Williams, right?
Nor would I. You still got to make the shots.
And you're still bowling against
still
the best
make
in
the
world.
shots. But when talking about, well, why did this guy outperform this other guy who was right near him? That's the kind of factor that I think could be a part of it.
I mean, yes, like there is a home field advantage. I mean, you'd be kind of blind to not say there is. Now, how big of an advantage is it? I don't think it's a huge advantage. I think there is a little bit of slight advantage. I mean, imagine if the tour went to Orange 10-pin in Australia where Belmo grew up bowling. Like you would imagine Belmo would be, even though he's, a favorite most of the days anyway, wherever he bowls, you'd imagine you give him a slight advantage. Imagine if it went to Levittown where Bill grew up bowling. Like, Bill always used to bowl really good at Carolier, right? Because we grew up bowling there. Imagine if the tour came to Gil Hodges Lanes where I grew up. I mean, you'd imagine I'd have a little bit of an advantage like bowling in that building. So yes, there is a little bit of a slight advantage, but
okay. So we had Kevin Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Then we had refresh my memory here, folks. I'm sorry.
Cooley was like the third. It wasn't Buttriff. It was
no, it was Cooley. Cooley was second. And then the first match was Buttriff and Francois. Right? Okay. So we'll start with the first match. Buttriff Francois. To me, that match pretty much came down to Francois getting absolutely stoned on a 9-pin that he left mid-game, almost mid-game. Close game, came down to the final shots. Buttriff had to get up and perform in the 10th of that game. And, yeah, I felt like if Frankie would have been able to carry that hit, which was a really good shot, he probably would have won that game.
I mean, one game matches are so quick. All it takes is just a really bad break and a really bad time in the game, and your opponent either capitalizes on it or gets a good break. I mean, there's really no way around it. It's a quick game. You have to know what you're doing quick, and you have to hope your guy is not like going to shoot a big game either. So yeah, now shots to Buster for getting up and making them, man. Like he got up and made it when he needed it.
Yeah, the game definitely seemed a lot closer than the final score indicated. It was 233 to 192. But yeah, I definitely felt like Frankie kind of knew what the result was going to be later in the game, and it got away from him a little bit. But I felt like the game up until the 8th frame or so was much closer than what the score indicated.
Yeah. Buttriff, the next match, it's funny, he went from making the shot to leaving a huge split in the 9th. against Cooley, right? It was the Cooley match. And it's just crazy how you go from being hero to zero in like one, you know what I mean? Like you go from making a shot when you need it to all of a sudden, like, good Lord.
That was definitely not his best shot.
Oh no,
I mean, it was right all the way. I wasn't surprised to see that was the result after that shot.
Yeah. So, Buttriff though made a huge run at the end there. He wasn't. I think I could be wrong here, but I remember him being pretty far below, like an 8th or 9th or something going in the last.
He was 2 games to go. Yeah, he was pretty
like
far out of it.
Pins out, right, or something
Yeah.
with 2 games left. So he was.
He was kind of playing with house money. Yeah.
Oh yeah, to be in that spot, he probably left there thrilled finishing 3rd. Being 160 out with 2 games left. And having a chance to be in the final match at that point is wild. So we go Cooley.
He gets up, closes
this was an
the door.
Interesting match, though, because I want to talk a little bit about this match because to me this was interesting. You have Kevin Williams, who's a very outspoken, outgoing personality, who I love, by the way, on the tour. I would love to see him be consistently on shows. I think he's very good for the PBA when it comes to character and charisma. He's a good-looking kid. Like he's, does his rap thing. I think there is a very interesting personality there. And me, I love the interesting personalities, right? But his game has come such a long way in the good sense, right? In the last couple of years, he's made really amazing, great improvements, right? You got this guy, right? Kevin Williams, interesting, charismatic. And then you got Sam Cooley, the cooler, the guy is literally the cooler. Like he's got zero emotion. I even tweeted out, like, I thought he fell asleep during the final match because they showed him and he was like dazing off, whatever. He's got zero of any of what Kevin Williams has. He's literally like no emotion. He's like a robot, right? You have a complete opposite matches here, and you got the home crowd rooting for Kevin. And then what happens? Kevin Williams struggles on the left lane. Cooley is just hanging around, right? Like, making double here, double there. Kevin can't strike on the left lane, and he's absolutely killing him. He leaves a 6-pin, a bucket, then he misses that, right? And Cooley hangs out, but Cooley bowled an amazing game. And then all of a sudden, the last shot, what does Cooley do when he needs it? Strikes, turns around in his home house, Mike, and says, "This is my house." And then all of a sudden, you're like, whoa, dude, this guy, like, it was an interesting match in that sense, right? Where, like, Cooley got sick of hearing the crowd after Kevin was throwing strikes saying, "This is your house. This is your state. This is your house." And Cooley he was like that time, when Michael Jordan is playing a visitor game and he like turns around and he's like, hushing the crowd. I don't know. It was an interesting match.
Spare shooting.
Oh,
spare shooting. I mean,
who's winning the spare shooter award.
Like, I don't know if people remember this or not, but I think it was last year, maybe 2 years ago. Like, Kevin Williams and Packy, they kind of do the house channel together, and they were doing a thing where basically the shtick was Kevin Williams doesn't think spares matter. Anybody remember this? They were going around, they were talking to other people saying, "Oh, Kevin Williams doesn't think spares matter." And he was trying to explain, like, "Oh, well, if you throw 8 or 9 in a row, then yeah, they really don't matter." Well, guess what? I'll bet you he knows that they matter now. Okay?
Yeah, that's a bad spare.
Because a routine spare for a professional, a routine spare for a professional cost him a title in his hometown.
If he made that spare, would he have needed to double?
Absolutely changes the entire. I don't even think we can discuss it because it would have changed the whole complexion of the match.
I agree.
The pressure would have been different. The heat would have been different. Obviously his score would have been 11 pins higher.
Right.
Okay. That puts him at 228. He would have won just with that. Just make the spare. And he wins 228 to 223, even with Cooley's 10th frame. So at a minimum, if he makes the spare, Cooley has to double. Because Cooley went strike 9 spare. Or no, sorry, he went 9 spare, Phil in the 10th. Right? He went 9 spare, Phil in the 10th. So at a minimum, he would have had to have the first one, probably both, if Williams makes the spare. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, I hate to see that.
He did it after in the 10th frame. Actually, Nolan Hughes wrote an article about it on the PBA website. It was a really good article. He writes good stuff. So go to website, Patrick. Was wondering when he said he didn't hear it. I don't think anybody really hears. He's a pretty quiet guy. So yeah, epidemic. Felt bad for Kevin in a weird sense because I was actually rooting for him.
Yeah, me too. It was a really tough ending because you, as a fan, you wanted to see him win in front of his hometown crowd.
Yeah, of course, because if you put yourself in those shoes, and you're bowling in front of your hometown and your friends and everybody, it's a lot of pressure though on him too, and that's the thing too. I really think happened in this match is Cooley didn't have really any pressure on him. I mean, look, there's always pressure when you're bowling a final match, but
you're bowling for $25,000.
But compared to what Kevin had on him, being in front of his home crowd and all of his family, his friends, Cooley is literally probably, only maybe had a few people that were there rooting for him. And, sometimes when you're the like underdog or you're the like away team, you don't have as much pressure as you do when you're the home team and you're in front of your home people. I don't know. It's my opinion, but
good event though. Good step ladder.
Yeah,
interesting to watch.
Except for all the urethane going down the lane, it was a good tournament. I just couldn't stand it. It was painful to watch. I just swear to you, Mike, a purple hammer versus a pitch black, or is that what Cooley was throwing? A pitch black?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Dude, it's like nonstop. It's the same shit every week. It's a pitch black versus purple hammer. And we've already talked about my thoughts on that. I don't care. That's what I feel. I hate it. Anyway,
all right.
He's already ruining our milk carton.
I know. Let's people are doing the rundown without us here.
Yeah.
All right, spare Shuta up first because we already said it. There's only one choice here. It's Kevin Williams.
Yep.
Kevin Williams wins the spare Shuta award this week. Dumpster diving gold medal. Who you got?
It's got to go to Christian Ascona. It's like the second time he's been in the dumpster diving.
We don't talk about this either at all. We do not talk about who we're going to choose. I have the same name written down for the same reason. 2 weeks in a row.
He's dumpster diving.
Haas. Might be time to put him in that. If we didn't have him there already, might be time to put him in that get bowling or get a job category. No.
Tough. He's had a tough run the last few weeks. So Jeff, in case you're wondering, milk carton is not what you think it is. Milk carton is someone who's been missing.
Right. Someone who you haven't seen in a bit, who's now back. Like they were on the milk carton. Now you see them. You found them. Oh, milk carton.
Well, there's only one award winner here for milk carton, and me and you both have it. We didn't talk. It's obvious. Brian Global. Right?
I got somebody different. I have Goebel written down. Written down. But for the sake of argument, I'm going to give you somebody different. And I'm going to say Francois Lavoie.
Okay.
Milk carton, where's he been? Where's he been lately?
He didn't make top 24 of the U.S. Open, did he?
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Where's he been?
Global. The man was a consistent on the national tour in the 80s, right?
90s.
Yeah. Made the Ebonite, was always throwing Ebonite from what I remember, right? He bowled as a super senior, Mike. And he made the top, what, 22, or is he right? 22?
I don't think he fared all that well.
What? Oh, was he? Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking someone else. He was in the dumpster. He was in the bottom.
He was.
But for me, that's amazing. Like seeing a guy like Brian Global even bowling and making, like, did he get to the PTQ? Or did he have an exemption?
Let me look it up. Hold on. No, they don't have the PTQ on here anymore. Okay. Well, actually, I could go back and
It's
look.
just cool to see that name.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Absolutely.
Especially the Super Senior Bowling. Shouts to Brian, man. We'd love to get him on the show, talk to him. That'd be cool.
No, it does not. It does not look like he came through the PTQ.
So he probably had an exemption, a PBA Tour exemption, I'd imagine, which I didn't even know they were giving out these days, but to regular tournaments. Ride with me, not ride with me.
Okay.
You're gonna die when I tell you who I don't want to ride with.
Go ahead.
You are going to die. I don't want to ride with Sam Cooley.
I understand it would be a boring ride.
He wouldn't say anything. The ride would be us sitting in silence, Mike. It would be him driving or me driving, no radio on, just staring.
I picture that Sam Cooley listens to soft rock. I do. Like love ballads.
No, I don't think he listens to music. I think he's just silence. The trophy in his passenger seat.
He'd probably make you sit in the back.
He probably would. But what's crazy to me is that he's an Australian. And, bro, they're the love to chant. And we talked about this last week. I did. I get on this. Dude, if his crowd and probably family, and this was his hometown, I guarantee you they'd be the loudest people in the building. Ozzy, 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 oi, oi, oi. They'd be yelling, right? And here he is, man, the cooler. I think it's like hilarious. So I wouldn't want to ride with Sam Cooley just because I don't think we'd be really talking a lot, and I'd be in the back seat.
Shep Ramsey in the chat saying Joe Furpo is in the field next week.
I love it, man. This is like
talk about milk carton. Oh,
it's like God. WrestleMania when the WWE brings back all the 80s superstars.
All right, my not ride would be Kevin McCune.
What?
Yeah, Kevin McCune.
Dude, Kevin McCune has had an amazing start to his career.
Mans went 1-11 in match play.
All right, fair point.
Mans went 1-11 in match play. I mean, that's a rough day. Here was my thinking here. Like, you were probably going to have to leave right after you were done or shortly after you were done, because you're going to Shawnee, Oklahoma. Okay, not a short ride. So, like, he probably got done bowling the end of match play. He went 1-11. He probably packed his stuff up, put it in the car, and was on the road quickly. Who wants to drive with somebody that just went 1-11? What are they going to talk about the whole time? How they couldn't win a match. They're going to want to run down every match with you of, oh, well, this happened and this guy shot this against me. And listen,
let me tell you something.
I don't want to hear bad match play stories the same way I don't want to hear about bad fantasy football beats or bad poker beats. Okay? Don't want to hear about them.
Okay.
All right? But that's what he'd be focused on, obviously.
I have some personal experience here because when I made the top 8 at the regional a few months ago, I went 1-7. Okay. You want to talk about a long ass day? And that was 8 games, and that was a regional. That's hard to do. Like when you lose that many matches, you start questioning life. You start questioning your career choice. You start questioning everything about your bowling game when you can't win. And, I was 0-7, and then I beat David Haynes in my last match. And I was so excited I won because I didn't want to go 0-8. Because then I know I'd have to face you on Tuesday after going 0-8. 1-7, at least I could say I won. 1-11, it's a good choice, Mike. I probably wouldn't ride with him either. Okay. Who am I riding with? I'm riding with Anthony Nyer.
Damn it. I have the same one.
Yo, my boy bowled 300 to get into the final day. right? He bowled it in the last game of the top 22. By the way, if anybody watches that 10th frame of his 300, my guy hit 3 different arrows on 3 different shots to bowl the 300. And I'm being exaggerating here, but he did have about 5 boards. Like he had the whole lane on that pair. But that's, credit to him, right? Not a lot of people had that look. The scores were high, but not like that. Yo, my guy is young, man. He's got a good game. He's gonna get better. He's gonna learn. He reminds me of a Jason Couch. He has Jason Couch qualities. The kid, when he has it, he strikes. When he doesn't have it, he's probably not gonna, make it, right? Or make a cut. But when he has it, he's gonna win the tournament. Him and it'll be interesting to see how much him and Spencer Robarge clash in the next, 5 to 10 years down the road. We're getting a little bit of my opinion, a prediction or a glimpse of the future of, some young bulls, Mike, that are already making splashes on the tour.
I haven't seen enough from Robarge to put him in that category yet. But
what? Robarge, he made a US. Didn't he make a U.S. Open cut last week or close to it? Or was he
made the Masters show last year?
I mean, the kid. I mean, he's already is an amazing junior career. And I'm not saying that's instantly going to make him a PBA superstar, but
yeah, Nair though, I would put my money on him to be one of the future stars.
Right,
no doubt. I agree with you about the Jason Couch comparison. Also, in his fiery attitude, he has sort of a fiery side to him that I think compares to Jason Couch as well.
It'd be a fun ride to sit with him.
Yeah. But I said that Robarge made the show at the Masters. Okay, did he finish second at the Masters? I don't think he finished second.
First off,
he didn't finish second. He didn't make the title match. Okay,
Mike, he's asking you what you're smoking. Okay, come on, man. We all know. Go follow him on Instagram, man.
But at the same time, all right, one event, even 2 events, a handful of events, to me doesn't stamp you as somebody guaranteed future star. I'm sorry. The bar is higher than that.
If my money is on a future star though, it's Spencer Robarge and it's Anthony Nair. Okay.
All right. No. I told you Nair I would take. Robarge I'm not, and I'm honestly not so up on Robarge. I've seen Nair bowl in person numerous times, but I'm not so up on Robarge. But Nair, I feel like he's been consistently competing, making cuts, hanging in there. Threat for shows numerous times, etc.
Yeah, Nair is he's good. He's I like to see him get a little bit more experience, right? Like all the young guys. I like to see him be able to not when his A game is not there, be able to start making different moves. But in reality, in this today's game, Mike, do you really need to be versatile as a lefty? No. We see guys like Jesper Svensson and Jacob Butcher. Now, I'm not saying they're not versatile, but I'm saying they're really good at their A game and they're pretty, doing okay for themselves on tour.
Okay. Last category here. I see you, Haas. Who you got?
It's funny because Kevin McCune is ICU Haas.
Oh, okay.
Yo, my guy, I would have never expected him to do what he's doing the first 2 tour stops. And this is for this stop and the US Open. Yo, he's consistently putting himself in a position to make a show. And he's gonna start if he's consistently doing what he's doing now, eventually he's gonna start making a show here and a show there. And then he's gonna start winning, right? So you see a lot of potential in Kevin McCune. Surprising me, I thought honestly, I'll be really transparent. I thought he'd be a one-trick pony like his dad was. fire the gutter. When you have it, you go 8 million over. When you don't have it, you go minus 300. You move on to the next tour stop. But that's not the case, Mike. He showed his versatility. He showed he could play when he bowled the U.S. Open last week. They put on the short now. Obviously he's probably in a lot more comfort zone when he plays the short. But, he's impressed me so far this season, man. Really.
Agreed. I see you, Hoss. I'm giving it to Michael Tang. Nice finish this week. Was third after qualifying, I believe. Haven't seen his name that far up there.
Zone, though, right? I mean, you got to say, this is Tang's comfort zone, though, no? Like, short pattern, gutter, urethane. I mean,
Darren Tang, maybe. I don't know about Michael Tang.
I kind of feel like they're both in the same kind of comfort zone.
Okay, fair enough.
And Nico, I want to bring this up because he's like, Jacob shot 300 with a reactive ball. Let me tell you something. Jacob bowls league with me, and he bowled a lot of tournaments in this area. I have never seen him throw a urethane ball in the state since I've moved here in 18 months. Jacob is really working on using his reactive ball when he needs to. I have not yet seen him throw a urethane ball, and I'm really making that state. Like, I asked him, when are we seeing it? He's just like, you probably won't see it. So, Ildemaro. Oh, wait, Mike, I can't hear you. I think Mike.
Ildemaro Ruiz, ring 10 in the chat. That's a good pick. That's a good pick. Nick Pate, Nico, that's a good pick. I like that too. But listen, we're all entitled to our own picks in the rundown. All right, well, that's it. That's our wrap of the Springfield Classic. We're on to this week for the Fire Lake.
Right.
What is it? Fire Lake PBA Shawnee Classic. Okay. 13th to the 17th. PTQ is tomorrow, the 14th. And then qualifying, I believe, starts on the 15th.
Short pattern again?
No, you want to know what they're bowling on? Hold on. Let's see.
Am I going to see urethane going on the lane again?
Billy Hardwick, 44 feet.
So we might see a little bit more performance ball, depending on how much volume they use.
Probably going to need probably going to see urethane anyway. That's what I'm saying earlier. That's what I was saying earlier. Like, the urethane seems undefeatable to me at times. I don't know.
And I'm assuming that is another Bull TV event.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I like those Bull TV events. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would love to see the finals on FS1. I mean, who wouldn't? But, dude, I like these. This is a real tour. City to city games, match play, tournament, right? This is a tour, right? This is what we want. Anyway, yeah, look forward to that. See the PTQ, see what's going on. Hopefully we don't see a lot of urethane for my mental sake. Jeff in the chat writes, doing this on Monday was a great idea, by the way. We'll have a big announcement at the end of the show in regards to our schedule for the people for the new season. So we look forward to announcing that. So, Mike, you want to get into the rest of the week here?
Let's do it.
Mike, I'm going to go on the limb here and say our fans are the best because I got a really good video of a gentleman bowling that I want to show who might have the wildest pre-shot routine I've ever seen in the history of bowling. And if I apologize if you're listening to this on audio, you might want to check this out on our YouTube and Facebook page when you can get to a computer screen. But this is just way too good. So let me just bring this up real quick here for the people who haven't seen this gentleman throw a shot yet. But I don't know who this is. I don't want to don't really care what his name is. We're just going to watch him bowl. It's too good. So
I've seen this video and it can't be real. This has to be some sort of manufactured for social media thing here. Okay.
Well,
enjoy.
I love it. Look at that. He starts with, I really can't even commentate on this. No, this is for sure real. Dude, we got shimmy. Dude, and then he throws it pretty good after that. Dude, could we okay, let's watch it again.
This cannot. Well, we got to give a breakdown of this.
Okay,
we got to give a breakdown of this for the people that are not watching, right? So it starts out where dude is on the approach. Okay, he's getting ready to throw the ball. He's putting his hand in the ball. Okay, go ahead, Rob, play it. He then starts. Pause it. Yep. He starts by turning to the side. Okay, so that you can see the ball now. He's facing the wall of the bowling center, and he's sort of looking up towards the ceiling. It looks like he's almost praying to the bowling gods before he gets to start his approach here. Go ahead.
No, I don't think this is on the tot, Jeff. The tot isn't at the Gold Coast this week or last week.
Okay. He then very quickly, very aggressively whips the ball underneath him. Okay. Takes a step forward and holds the ball up head level above his head, almost admiring the ball. Okay. And he stands there for a minute with the ball held above his head.
Okay, I do need to say this though. I don't care if this is fake or real. This is freaking hilarious. Okay, like this is like he sat down and choreographed this thing, right? Like this wasn't like something he came up with. All right. So shouts to this guy, man. This is hilarious.
Okay. He then does a right leg up, ball still at head level, does a right leg up pitcher wind up movement.
I call this the flamingo right here. This is the flamingo pose. Okay. He's the bowling Liberace. That's what Charlie Tapp says. So, dude.
Okay, he then comes back. This is the best part to me. He comes back dead square on the approach, right? Yeah. After he goes through this whole process, he's now dead square on the approach, shoulders straight. He's lined up all the way left, and he's now going to do a swing.
A shimmy. He did
a shimmy, a swing, and a pretty good release, actually.
He did like a dead man shake. You know that movie?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And then he throws it, and he throws it pretty good after that. Dude, I love it.
The best part is he's surprised that he didn't strike. He's like, damn, I didn't strike doing that.
That's my worst of the week, Mike. And it's not worst of the week because if this guy really bowls like this, it might be my worst of the week. But I'm very skeptical that this is actually how he bowls. I think that this could be a little bit of a showmanship on his end.
Right. Well, worst of the week could also go to the person that posted it, perhaps thinking it was real when it's not. So you can look at it a couple different ways.
Is he not looking where he stands? Is he lining in off the ceiling?
Maybe.
He's
when I first saw it, I thought, oh, it must be to slow down.
Oh, no, I thought he was like moving by adjusting off of where he is standing from the ceiling. So if he like comes through the nose, maybe he moves one roof tile to the left. Could be.
Makes sense.
Okay.
I told you I'm everywhere on the bowling Facebook now.
Yeah,
I'm everywhere. Okay, so this one comes from a new source here. It's from the Brunswick Bowling Fans page.
I'm on that one. Oh wait, sorry, I literally shared my screen.
Brunswick Bowling Fans page. The post is by Pins to Win. Pins to Win. Congratulations. If that's your Facebook name, you have won worst of the week. Here's the post is of.
No, wait, we got to pull this up because Jeff doesn't understand. Mike's not everywhere on bowling Facebook. It's his wife. Oh no.
No, I got the burner, son. I got the burner up.
Jeff, Mike's got a burner now, so be careful.
He
might come after you.
I might. The picture in the post is of a 3-tier ball rack. Okay, like balls down here, balls here, balls here. And they're all Brunswick balls. The Defender, the Katana Assault, the Black Widow Pink, okay? Here's the post. Now an official Brunswick Pro Shop. New inventory starting to show up daily. Brunswick, Hammer, Ebonite, and Radical. gladly serving the 4 states area. Watch for more to come.
A Brunswick. Does that mean he doesn't sell anything but Brunswick?
I don't know. That's why I made it worse to the week. Am I unaware that pro shops are now going all one brand or all another? Or if you're a pro shop, why would you do that?
Would that be a Patch Pirate pro shop?
I would imagine so.
Wow, I didn't know that they had. It's like they have like cells now.
Because if you're only throwing or only selling one brand's equipment,
why would you?
They better be throwing you something.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Aren't you in the business to like make money? Why would you not sell Storm?
Right. Wow. Don't you want to give the people walking through the door the most options you can give them?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huh. Maybe people could. Does anybody? I'm going to throw this out to the chat because we have a lot of people in the chat that are no bowling pro shops, affiliated, owned shops. Is that a thing? Like, I don't know. Mike doesn't know. Like, we're really interested. Like, is a pro shop affiliated like for one company? Does Brunswick pay this pro shop to be strictly exclusive, to give exclusive rights to their like, or is this just a Patch Pirate that went to an extreme Patch Pirate like Pat Piratism?
It's wild.
Yeah, well, Jeff says some of them will only stock one company, but they will order whatever you want. That's the worst. That's so dumb. That's Patch Piratism at its worst, if you ask me. What if I want a Venom Shock from Motive, I have to go in to a Brunswick affiliated and then sit there and order it while they're probably trying to talk me out of drilling that to drill probably a Rattler, essentially. So, I don't know. That's
amazing. It's amazing. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I know a lot of people are chiming in, so. All right, Mike. We're good on this?
We're good. All right, final thoughts, Rob.
2 final thoughts. First, big announcement for the people. So me and Mike collaborated, and this was Mike's idea, even though Mike's very busy these days, the busiest man on earth. We have decided for the PBA season that we will be going live twice during the week. We will be going live Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be going live back on Thursday nights to preview the current and upcoming tournament on the weekend. So we will be back live this Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, and then the following Thursday. So we will be doing 2 shows a week. The shows will probably be shorter. I'd imagine 45 minutes or so. One show will be doing league review and one worst of the week. The other show, probably Sunday, would be the show where we'll be
strictly to break down the event.
And then we'll be doing that for the foreseeable future, as long as the PBA is bowling. As long as there's tournaments, and maybe the Sunday show for a live major might turn into a live view show where we do a wrap up a half hour after. So, we're going to give the people more content, more listening. So yeah, man, that's my one big announcement. Tell all the people, share and like this YouTube video, send it out to all your friends. Trying to spread the word out there to make this a bigger bowling community.
My final thought is that we're getting ready to. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I want to talk about the Super Bowl commercial. Okay. This might be a Brooklyn Rob rant. I mean, it's not going to be as good as a Big Mike rant. I mean, that's just like on a whole nother level of rant. 30 seconds, they did a commercial, and bowling got a little bit of a tidbit. It was a Pringles, I believe, commercial where the guy was bowling. Kind of looked like an exaggerated version of P. Weber, you could say, right? He's bowling with a Pringles arm, made this ridiculous-looking person, like with a mullet and a mustache, and this guy looked like he was bowling out of the 60s or something. I don't mind anything. This isn't my final thought where I have nothing against that, right? Like comedy or whatever the commercial was.
The guy in the commercial looked like Rick Kenmore, who is the parody version of Pete Weber from the bowling mockumentary Any Given Saturday Afternoon. That's who it looked like. Rick Kenmore. Suck my sack. Suck my sack. Oh
I
God.
thought it looked like the guy from Eastbound and Down.
Kenny Payne?
Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers. Okay.
I thought it would look a little bit like Kenny Powers with the mullet and the sunglasses, right? Whatever. My issue is that the high-level bowling executives on Twitter, they see anything to do with bowling, regardless if it's making a joke of bowling or anything they could, send out a message like, "Oh, bowling was on a Super Bowl commercial." Mike, it could be like two monkeys bowling and throwing a ball down the lane and be
throwing poop down the lane. Forget a ball. They could be throwing poop down the lane. And the powers that be in bowling would get all hype about it.
Bowling is on the Super Bowl commercial. Okay.
Oh, bowling's on the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yeah.
Look, there's a giant bowling shoe. Oh, no one gives a shit.
There's a big turkey with a bowling ball, Patch Pirates shirt. Bowling is never taken seriously. It's a huge cliche. I've had people at my work even say to me, "Oh, did you see the Pringles commercial with the guy bowling? Like, wasn't that like funny?" Bowling is a giant cliche. As long as our higher ups and executives promote this kind of, media attention that bowling gets, bowling will never be taken seriously in the mainstream media. Right? Like, as long as they keep producing shows like This Is How We Roll and movies like Kingpin and, and bowling gets made fun of and people joke about like bowling, Homer Simpson's a bowler, Fred Flintstone's a bowler,
Al Bundy, the thumb warmer.
Al Bundy's a bowler.
Thumb warmer 3000.
Dude, bowling is never be taken seriously, honestly. And as long as these stuff gets made about bowling and our higher ups, promote it or encourage it, the sport will never be taken seriously. Our sport deserves better. And until that happens, we're just going to continue being a joke to the mainstream media. Now it's, instead of when I go and talk to people who don't bowl and I tell them I bowl or I used to bowl, whatever you want to say, now it's not, "Oh, did you watch Kingpin?" Now it's, "Oh, did you see that guy, the who you think he is guy? You watch that clip?" And it's just like, dude, like, what about, like, I would love for someone to say, "Oh, dude, you bowl? I'm not a bowler, but yo, did you see the US Open last weekend? Yo, that was an amazing like event, an amazing show," right? Like, you never hear that. You always hear, "Oh, did you watch the movie Kingpin?" Or, "Oh, who do you think you are? What is that guy's deal?" I don't know. That's my rant. I just can't stand it. It annoys me. So
feel you on that. My final thought is that we are getting ready to wrap up the raffle for the Belmo merch. It's right behind me here somewhere.
Yeah, we got to do that. We got to finish that up.
It's right behind me here. But if you bought raffle tickets, soon we're going to be pulling that raffle. If you want raffle tickets, there's not many left. Get up with us, email us, text us, shoot us a DM, and we'll help you out there. But yes, we are coming to a conclusion on that. So be aware. Okay.
Awesome.
All right, that's it, folks.
Thursday night?
No Thursday this week.
No Thursday
this week. We're starting it next week.
So we're going
to be on Sunday.
Okay.
And then we're gonna have two wrap ups. We're gonna have the wrap up from the PBA event, and then the wrap up from the PBA college event, which airs on Sunday as well.
Okay.
So we'll do that Sunday night, and then next Thursday we'll start that. All right, guys. Thank you as always for joining us. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate the back and forth. Feel free to hit us up on social media. We're usually on Twitter. I'm at the 215th. He's at Brooklyn Rob 11. Email us at sweeptherack@gmail.com. We love getting the emails from people. We do. We're going to have to start a segment where we highlight some listener emails because we have been getting some really good ones lately. So listen, everybody, enjoy the week. Enjoy the action on Bowl TV. They didn't have the best week last week. I'm going to be patient. I'm going to assume they're working on the issues, but let's get it together quicker than slower, okay? Enjoy the action on Bowl TV. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you on Sunday.
Peace.
You are now listening to Sweep the Rack podcast featuring Brooklyn Rob and Big Mike.